friends, as we gather together this morning, our hearts are filled with sadness, the passing of our brother Tommy. At the same time, as we gather here in this house of God, our hearts are also filled with hope. Hope in the love of our God, that he is now ushering Tommy into the glory of his kingdom. We ask the Lord to fill our hearts at this time with comfort and peace and reassurance. And we ask the Lord to take our brother's soul to himself as we pray. Eternal God, you made the union of man and woman a sign of the bond between Christ and his church. Grant peace and mercy to our brother Thomas, who was united in love with his wife Michelle. May the care and devotion of his life on earth find a lasting reward in heaven. Look kindly upon his wife, on his sons Nick and Matt, on all his family members and friends, as now we turn to your compassion and love. Strengthen our faith and lighten our loss, and we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. I invite you to be seated at this time.
First off, I'd like to thank everybody in the community for the support, not only to the Petersen family, but to the Norton police family. It's certainly been a difficult year, and we thank you and appreciate your support. I've known Tommy for nearly 40 years, from when we were on the same baseball team together in Little League and at Norton Middle School, which is now the Yale School. Early on, it was well known that he wanted to be a police officer. It was a job that he truly loved. Tommy was the first deputy chief of police of the Norton Police Department. Having worked side by side, planning events, conducting investigations, controlling incidents, Tommy personified what a right-hand man was all about. He knew the law, operations, and command. There was no better choice for the position. The position of deputy chief was built for him, and he excelled at it. He had the knowledge and the confidence and wanted to be involved. Whether it was a hostage situation on John Scott Boulevard where the police were shot at, or a brutal murder down in Norton Glen, Tommy was there. He was reliable, dependable, wanted to be involved. Tommy was also meticulous. When I asked him to review something I wrote, his eyes would light up as he took out his red pen because he knew it was going to be perfect. When cruises needed to be lined up out here about 6 months ago, and it wasn't to his liking, he made the officers do it not once, not twice, but till it was perfect, till all it was lined up his way. And then he would say, "It really isn't that hard. It only took 3 times yesterday." A little over 10 years ago, Tommy came to me and said he had the opportunity to coach Norton High School football. He said he thought that it would be good for the department and good for community policing to be involved with families and kids. He said he may need to adjust his schedule, but he'll make it work. And I said, no problem. Coaching was his passion, on and off the field. This brought him great pride. We saw this when Brad Rye applied to the police department. He quickly said to me, "I coached him. He's a TVL All-Star, great kid." Brad was hired full-time and quickly became Tommy's protege. A couple months ago when Connor Reynolds was looking to do an internship, he came to me and said, "He's a smart kid, he's polite, I coached him, he's going to be the captain of the Mass Maritime Academy football team this year, I'd like to take him." We had lunch together on Connor's last day of his internship, which was also Tommy's birthday. You could see the pride in his face when we talked about traveling down this fall to see Connor play. Connor worked out well. He's now the videographer here today. The only thing I can tell you, Connor, is just don't mess this up. Because one thing you don't want to experience is Tommy's wrath. That's a whole different story. He's got a lot more power now and a bigger audience. They say that officers who are truly dedicated and love their job bleed blue. Well, Tommy also bled Lancer purple. He knew the importance of being involved in the community and giving back. When popular teacher coach Kent Taylor became sick, Tommy came to me and said, "He's always supported us, we need to do something for him." We came up with the idea to have purple shirts with the Norton Police patch on it, and on the back it said, "Support Coach Taylor." Tommy ran with this idea. He was the one that organized it and put everything together. This past year, when the Norton Food Bank needed assistance, him and Roger Marsan collaborated on a food drive. Tommy coordinated all the officers to assist with contactless drive-through service. Though this would probably be considered community policing, to Tommy it was just his duty as a citizen. Tommy was humble and never looked for credit. It was all about helping people and pushing them to succeed. He certainly did that for me. I'm sure he was greeted at Heaven's Gate by a friendly, familiar face with a rather loud voice that said something like, "Hey, Dep, come on in. Can I get you a drink?" Rest in peace, my friend. You're greatly missed. We'll have it from here.
My dad was my best friend, hero, and backbone to our family. He also was a dear friend and colleague to so many others, both near and far. He always pushed everyone to be their best, and yes, he may have pushed too hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, you knew he meant well. My favorite thing to say about my dad was that he was a police officer, and I made sure to let everyone I knew about it. Throughout my life, pulling double duty as a police officer and dad, that meant there were sacrifices. Although there was not many, he did miss some games, practices, and trips due to work. Nonetheless, he requested second-by-second updates from my mom, who was still able to make it feel like he was always there with a quick call after each game. Me and my dad were able to share an experience that not many could when I interned at the police station for 2 years during high school. I saw what my hero did each and every day and how dedicated he was to serving Norton and the surrounding communities. This experience allowed me to hear many of the stories that I'm not sure he wanted me to hear about his police career, but they made an everlasting impact on my life. And if I was not sure before, those 2 years showed me the true definition of a police family. It brought me even closer to the men and women who have taken every step of my life by my side. It also taught me how much a taser really hurts, which is, yes, an extreme amount. Being the son of a police officer definitely brought on many worries and stressors, but also taught me just about everything I know today. He loved to say, "We usually see everyone on one of their worst days, and that does not mean it's how you should remember them." There were many nights worrying when he would be home, or even worse, being woken up to the loud ringing of an urgent alarm or radio, knowing that my dad would be leaving to go on a call out and returning who knows when. The past few years, it has given me comfort knowing that my hero is at the scenes to manage the operations to try and keep all the officers and civilians safe. The two greatest lights in his life this past summer were watching my cousin's sporting events because it made him go back in time to when me and Nick were little, and planning our annual week down in Falmouth. These are the memories I will remember forever, sitting on the porch and just hanging out with the family as we turned the corner towards our adult years. We all dreamed of visiting you and Mom down the Cape and going out on the boat that you so badly wanted to see in overtime after all the shifts that we know you worked throughout the years. Your work ethic and dedication to both your family and profession made you my hero. Everyone says you should not meet your hero because you will be disappointed, but I was lucky enough to be raised by mine and would not have changed it for the world. Although you are gone, the Norton and extended police family bleeds through my blood. Some of you may have a title that is a real family, like my godfather out there, that stood by my dad in uniform for almost 30 years. You are all my family, would not have wanted it any other way. I may have gotten into trouble a few times from all of you reporting me and my dad for driving too fast or getting reported to my dad. But that just shows you guys how loyal you guys all are and how much of a family you truly mean to me. You always were and will continue to hold a place in my heart that no others could fill. I love you, Dad, and me and Nick will continue to keep taking care of Mom as you would have wanted. Please let Grandma and Papa know that we miss them each and every day, and I hope you enjoy listening to all of Stephen's stories, because we know there's a lot. I cannot wait to continue to make you proud each day. Thank you again for being my hero for 22 years. I wish we could have had more time.
Firstly, I would like to thank everyone who came out today, especially all the local law enforcement officers who have been so helpful over the past week, and particularly over the past few days, helping to ensure these services are about remembrance more than sadness. One of the things I admired most about my dad was that in moments like this, he was always able to maintain his composure and deliver such meaningful eulogies for both of his parents. I'm probably not going to be able to do that. Many of you here know my dad best as a coach or coworker, and that means you had a good understanding of his drive for excellence. And if you worked with him in those capacities, you've probably heard him say, physical mistakes are going to happen, but mental mistakes are never acceptable. And if you've grown up playing sports with me or seen my college transcripts, you know that making mental mistakes is something I'm pretty good at. Nevertheless, my dad always loved me and offered support every step of the way, even though I had my fair share of struggles and run-ins with various departments in this area. Another trait I would love to touch on is my dad's willingness to go out of his way to help those he cared about. When I was in high school, my friend Nate unknowingly purchased a car with an illegal title from Rhode Island, and we were both shocked when we walked out of school to find that his car had been repoed. After driving all over the beautiful city of Pawtucket in the pouring rain, we were able to find the dealership where the car was being stored, and we had to sit down at a Burger King with the owners, and they told us that if Nate wanted to get the car back, he was going to have to pay the dealership $4,000, which was more than he even paid for the car initially. We went back to Norton pretty disappointed and ended up meeting up with my dad in the middle school parking lot, where he told us he might have one last trick up his sleeve to get the car back. My dad called the dealership and told them that if the car was not returned to the high school, he would charge everyone at the dealership with Grand Theft Auto and simply take the car back for himself. Nate and I were both in awe of this, and we asked him, "Can you really do that?" He looked at us both with a smile and said, "No, but what can we do?" Sure enough, the next day, Nate's Crown Vic was sitting in his reserve spot at the high school, completely detailed. So that was great. Just something I've been reflecting on, as many of you know, this past weekend I was in a wedding for one of my very close friends from growing up, Matt Sugar, and I couldn't help but notice all the amazing moments he was able to have with his dad during the ceremonies. These are memories I'm never going to get to have with my dad, but he would have been so proud of the futures that Matt and I have before us. Despite my dad not being there for these events, we'll continue to honor his memory. In his absence, we'll rise to life's challenges with the same bravery and strength that he conveyed. Mom, I know this is something that nobody expected to happen so soon, and life's plan has dramatically changed for our family. Just know that Matt and I will be here for you every step of the way. Although it may seem like there's a huge hole in your life now, we will strive to surround you with love, happiness, and excitement.
Amazing grace, how sweet Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, oh, when the valley's hushed and wide with snow. 'Tis are we here in sunshine or in shadow? Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come and summer's in the meadow, if I am dead as dead I may well be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying. You'll kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I shall hear, though soft, you tread above me. For my grave will warmer, sweeter be, and I shall hear you tell me that you love me, and I will rest in peace until you come to me. Yes, I will rest in peace until you come to me.
Yeah, Tommy was a great, started out as a sergeant when I knew him, and then worked his way up to deputy chief, and great guy. Was all with my son's sports. He was the coach and all of those things.
Tommy was just a great guy, willing to help anybody out, anytime. Always be remembered.
He's always nice to pretty much everyone, and my family owes him a debt. Thank you.
We're going to really miss him. His presence will be missed.
When Tommy was about 20 years old, he used to work for me at the Quick Stop. He was just started, and at the time, Tommy was a cashier, and we were having trouble with selling underage beer to minors. And so I told Tommy that it's absolutely imperative that you check all the IDs, because people will come in and they'll try and buy beer without IDs. So he said to me, well, how old do I think they have to be so I don't have to check their IDs? So at the time I was in my 40s, I said, well, you still have to check IDs no matter how old. So he said to me, well, what should I do? I said, well, you take the ID. If the person doesn't look it, you check the ID. If they're over 21, you give them. So he said he understood it. So I said, Tommy, if I came in and said I didn't have an ID, would you sell me beer? And Tommy says, no, I wouldn't. So I says, okay, Tommy, if I come in and brought my ID and said, Tommy, here's my ID, would you sell me beer? And he said, no, I wouldn't. So I said, Tommy, if I come in and I looked old enough and I gave you my ID, you wouldn't sell me beer? Why? He says, because I don't think you could handle it.
Peter J. Wiggins, honorary mayor of Norton, and Tom Petersen sure loved this town of Norton, and he knew me very well, and I would see him around the town in Norton, and he loved me very well, and I sure loved covering his son's basketball games, and he loved covering football. And Tom Petersen is going to be missed, and Norton's going to be missed without him. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ray Cord, Norton Emergency Management, and we're here to celebrate a life of a great guy who was a great supporter of emergency management, and unfortunately he passed too soon. And it's really a heartbreaking day, and it's a thing that has shocked us twice in the 6 months. We've lost 2 great police officers and 2 great people. So it's tough, and we wish the family well, and we're so sorry for all of the grief that our police officers have to go through. Thank you.
Tom was a great guy, coached my son, good friend, great family, going to be sorely missed, and deep, heartfelt sympathy to his family, and we'll miss him, and it's just hard to fathom not having him in the town anymore. We love him, we love his family, and God bless them all.
Tom Petersen, just phenomenal guy, great father, police officer, just coach, just an amazing man, kind, would do anything for anybody, will be greatly missed.
Hi, we're the Nortons, and we want to say a quick goodbye to Tom. I appreciate the many times we spent together coaching Pop Warner. My wife Janice, Alyssa, and my son John will miss you deeply. Thank you.
My condolences to Tommy's family. Known Tommy since he was 9 years old. Served with him as a board of selectmen, and he very proud of his achievements, and very sad to see him go.
Hey Tom, gonna miss you, buddy. A lot of Friday nights spent up on the tower filming the football games. Hope you're looking down watching them still. Really thinking about you. See you soon for a cold beer. Miss you, Tom. Take care.
So yeah, we both played football for Coach Petersen back in Pop Warner. Taught us a lot, taught us how to become men, taught us discipline, and definitely thankful for a lot of the lessons that he taught us growing up that still stick with me today.
Growing up in Norton, you know, our age and Matt's age too, there's definitely an impact that Coach Petersen had on all of us, not just the few that he coached, but forever thankful for it.
My name is Katrina Thompson, formerly Captain and Assistant Director of Public Safety at Wheaton College. I've had the amazing pleasure of working with Tommy for the last 3.5 years of my career in campus law enforcement higher education. My heart goes out to the entire Petersen and Norton Police Department families. Tommy was such an amazing role model and mentor to me. Really a heartfelt, caring, loving human being with whom I am so grateful to have even known. So my heart is with you, Petersen family, Norton Police Department, Norton Fire. Thank you for all that you do, your amazing service. And I just wanted you to know how much you mean to me and what an impact you've had on my career. Thank you.
All right, I knew Tommy as a boy when he hung out with my son, the sergeant, and the chief, and the lieutenant. And they hung together, and I still can't believe he's gone. That's it.
Mr. Petersen will be missed. He's known as coach to many of us. He was a great coach. He believed in everybody, and he was tough on the field, but when you needed someone on the sidelines to pull over, he'd always support you.
He's a great coach, a lot of great memories with him, always gave me a chance, had a lot of good times.
Yeah, he'll be missed.
So my name is Matthew Crow, and I was a very good friend of Tom Petersen. Tom worked with me for 20 some odd years on the Norton Police. I could not ask for a better partner, a better friend, and I hope that he got the same from me. The town has truly lost a really, really great member of the community, not just on the police, but as part of Norton football, Norton sports, Norton community. Thanks, Tommy, for everything.